I'm Mark McAllister on Walpole Avenue, just off Greenwood, north of Gerrard, where the number of people living in this Toronto community housing complex that have been living here in very difficult conditions for some time. Today, government officials showed up with a promise of something new. And to start off our team coverage, here's Momin Qureshi.
This Toronto community housing complex is one of 4 areas that is about to get a lot more energy efficient as the federal government announces a $5.7 million investment to upgrade and retrofit heating, cooling, and lighting systems.
Improvements to community energy systems are essential to maintaining healthy air quality and protecting the environment. Projects like the one we're announcing today ensure that communities have the infrastructure they need to provide a high quality of life today and for generations to come. In 4 multi-residential buildings in downtown Toronto, Hamilton, and Kitchener as well.
But when you have homes and buildings accounting for 45% of our greenhouse gas emissions, then you just know that initiatives like this one today, and then after that, neighborhood by neighborhood, building by building across the city, is going to be something that is going to be very important for the environment, but also very important for people, because I think we often forget, once we've made these improvements, we're going to save an awful lot of money. And when I say we, I mean in some cases that will be the housing corporation itself. In other cases, it will be the owners of those buildings in commercial terms, but in many, many cases, it will be people who live in the City of Toronto, tenants and residents.
These poorly insulated homes are currently heated by electric baseboards, but once they're retrofitted, that will reduce on the amount of greenhouse gases and save on energy bills, something they've been asking for since 2004.
Now, saving on energy bills is one thing. Living in tolerable conditions is another. There are more than 100 units in this housing complex, and after the announcement this morning, many are raising questions about other things as well. And so we look at the problem of those tolerable conditions and getting beyond just heating and cooling, not just here, but throughout the city as well. From plumbing not working and visible mold on walls from water leaks, to crumbling exterior walls and old houses falling apart and vacated, it's easy to see the backlog of disrepair that exists at Toronto community housing locations.
We have a very substantial contribution having been made by the city over many years, in excess of $1 billion, $313 million this year alone.
Back in April, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was in Toronto to announce $1.3 billion in federal cash for repair work needed at different Toronto community housing locations. But just $116 million of that has been allotted for 2019. TCHC vows money is being spent as part of its 2019 capital repair budget. $9 million to make common areas and buildings more accessible. Nearly $8 million for roof replacements. New security cameras in different locations will cost $8 million, and $32 million will be available for 84 projects involving exterior walls, windows, and doors.
We have a $1.3 billion commitment from the federal government to help, and as yet we haven't seen assistance a little bit before when the cap and trade program was there from the provincial government, and so I'm still optimistic.
So too are the more than 110,000 people in Toronto living in community housing, many of which waiting for more work to be done. Now, the heating and cooling and everything that we're talking about is just a few things that the people here on Walpole have had to deal with over the years. Some years ago, there was an issue of cockroaches and vermin living in these units. Just 5 years ago, there was a shooting here and someone was killed in this area as well. So heating and cooling and energy efficiencies, just scratching the surface.